We found Active Love through the internet. I did a lot of research on some of the best agencies in the US, and Active Love was one of them. And I narrowed it down, and out of all the agencies that I called, Active Love was the first one to give me a call back and give me a lot of information. And they were just really helpful from the first phone call, and it just felt right for me. So.
Yeah, and I was recommended to Active Love actually by a coworker, and so that's kind of what put them on our list to contact. We're very glad we went through with them through the adoption process.
So Active Love made the experience super easy for us because they sent us a packet of information in the beginning, and it kind of walked us through each stage of adoption through their agency. So what we had to get in first, and then what we could expect from there on out. And they gave us a checklist, and the checklist was really straightforward. As I sent things in, somebody always emailed me and made sure that they checked things off, and it was really easy to follow that list and make sure we didn't miss any of the paperwork. Active Love was so on top of it that they had all our paperwork in within, I believe, 3 months of starting the process, and they had everything together, and it just made it really easy for us.
And I think at the beginning of the process, adoption, it was still very enigmatic for us. We didn't understand all the different steps, let alone an out-of-state adoption. So Active Love, what they provided was just step-by-step everything we needed to do. They gave us guidance on, for out-of-state adoptions. They just guided us all the way through a very confusing and bewildering process. But honestly, now looking back at it in hindsight, they just really they made it easy for us. It was just step-by-step through it, and they explained the different considerations and risks, and so it was just very helpful for us to be led through that in that way, because otherwise it would have been trying to do it on our own through private adoption, or even an agency with not as much customer service mindset and care for the adoptive parents, that it would have been much more difficult. So we're very grateful to that, and that they put in that effort for us.
I would definitely recommend Active Love to anybody. I know that when we decide to do this again, we are definitely going to use Active Love. Anybody who's considering adoption, it's especially for the first time. This agency just made it really straightforward and easy for us. I was really scared in the beginning, and we really desired a quicker match. We didn't want to be waiting forever, and they really made that possible. We waited about 7 months in the matching, and we have our little guy now. So I would definitely recommend Active Love to everybody.
And they don't obviously promise a certain amount of time for a match, because it's unpredictable. But what they did promise us is that they would provide us with situations according to what we expressed for our various preferences and things, and that they would just show us these situations, and we could decide whether to show our profiles, and we did, and we know that they were shown to the birth mothers, and so we were very confident throughout that we were being seen by the different birth mothers, and we knew in the end it was just going to be that right match, the one that was intended for us, that was going to come through in the end. And the other thing I wanted to mention was just another thing that we really appreciated about Active Love is also their concern and care for the birth mothers. Yes. That was just almost equally important to us as their service toward us as prospective adoptive parents. Just knowing how carefully they counseled and speak to the birth mothers, and just how they really try to make sure that this decision is what's in their best intent for their child, and so it just gave us a lot of more confidence, and that the birth mothers would be taken care of and treated with the utmost respect that they deserve.